Alright, gonna be starting soon. Alright, I'll be starting in about 5 minutes. Should be good. Alright, just about ready, and I will get started. All right. Hello there. Welcome to the newest episode of Whatever Happened to the Game. As for now, I'll be handling this myself, but it'll be an interesting look into the world of the Deus Ex game series. This is my second to last episode for this year on the podcast. I'll be replaying for the week leading up to the new year, but with the new year, I'll be talking about Escape from New York, which will be pretty fun. In the meantime, let's take a look at some of what's going on. So, there will be two big anniversaries next year, 40th anniversaries for video games. Video games are just that old. They're getting old, man. And women, if you're my audience. So this is how it's going. February 21st, 2026 will be the 40th anniversary for The Legend of Zelda being released on Famicom and NES. And September 26th, 2026 will be the 40th anniversary of the original Castlevania game being released. So both of these are great anniversaries for game series that have gone on. Another one is that Bethesda has released a special version of Skyrim for Nintendo Switch, and that should be pretty good as well. Other than that, I don't really have my guests for today. They're busy, but here we have it. I have my new channels. I'll be playing Simon's Destiny when I reach 2K subscribers. And I have new channels. One here is my music channel dedicated solely to music. So that should be excellent because as you get bigger, it matters more if you're showing copyrighted material, apparently. So that's just how it's going to go. And I also have for horror movie clips because, again, it's copyrighted material. But that's where it's for. My main channel will be focused more on commentary about video games. So that's what's going to be happening. My old videos are still going to be in the playlist. They're still going to be around. But otherwise, that's how it's going to go. So without much further ado, let's talk about Deus Ex. All these games here are available on GOG.com or on Steam. GOG.com includes the game soundtracks, it includes digital codes, and it has digital copies of the game manuals. So you can get an electronic version of the old game manuals and check it out. Doesn't mean having a booklet, because I always loved game booklets when I was growing up for video games that I had. They were fun to look at. Had some nice artwork, interesting little bits of story written into the manuals, all that jazz. All included in those books. So I'm glad that GOG.com has digital versions. And thank you, GOG, and to an extent Steam, for having these old games still remain playable. So we're going to start with Deus Ex. All right. So Deus Ex was a futuristic cyberpunk game heavily inspired by the X-Files and conspiracy theories. It takes place in 2052. So that's more or less the way it was. They had all sorts of ideas that went into Deus Ex. They had the idea that your main character was the descendant of Jesus Christ. They did do it in the final one. I can understand why. They probably didn't want to alienate some of their audiences, but I mean, that's the idea they used in Da Vinci Code. And it would use the engine for Unreal. So you have these blocky characters. And, you know, as a matter of fact, I'm actually going to take a look at this game. Another little thing that we're going to share with you. Say, hey, this is what Deus Ex looked like. This is that game and how it looked like 25 years ago. I hope everyone's doing well. Because I have my little polls in the live chat. So it's pretty fun to look at. But we're going to look up a little gameplay on how this game starts. Realistic being the hardest difficulty there is.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is Base 44. This is the first look at the current industry-leading AI app builder. And your appointment to FEMA should...
So I'm going to share screen for a minute.
Your appointment to FEMA should be finalized within the week. I've already discussed the matter with the Senate. I take it here with him. We didn't really have a choice. Hasn't been inflicted? Oh, yes. No, sir. When I mentioned that we could put him on the priority list for the ambrosia vaccine, he was so willing to problem.
So this is the opening narration right here.
Let it spill over to the schools and churches. Let the bodies pile.
So this game is a little bit abnormal, as it shows the conspiracy to you as you start. So So as it goes, this is more or less, I'm going to skip ahead to the gameplay. So I'm going to skip the training part because this game highly recommends you play the training. So you have Alex Jacobson as your radio dispatcher telling you what's going on. But this is the base game, it's not the mod. So this is the little secret. There's secrets, tons of secrets to this game, which gives it a little bit of replay value. And part of what you see here is that you have things under the dock, you have things underwater. Yeah, Chaos, it was somewhat of an interesting game. I had some time playing it, more or less. Even though our parents had the Apple computer when we were growing up. So as the game goes on, as a synopsis, you basically start out, dealing with what you think are terrorists, but it turns out the whole plot is a lot more complicated. So this game had almost 3 years of development time until they published it. It started out late 1997, then they released it in the summer of 2000. It's basically a first-person shooter, but they incorporated role-playing game elements into it, such as they put stealth in there, like Metal Gear Solid, hacking computers, and so on, to make it more of a cyberpunk and more of a game where you're espionage, kind of similar to Metal Gear Solid, in the sense that you are going around, trying to sneak around, especially in the earlier parts of the game, because you just aren't that tough yet to take damage. So groups of enemies can hurt you or even eliminate you in the early stages. So stealth is heavily emphasized in this. Heavily emphasized. Warren Spector worked on it, and Ness, we actually have an anniversary edition, which I didn't get into. I haven't played it yet. I will try the anniversary edition. But I have the revision mod. I have the original game. But anniversary edition? What do you mean? Oh, it is? I mean, I figure that much because you're essentially buying just the same game. You're essentially going and buying the same game with better graphics. I mean, to be fair, some of these games, like this one, 25 years ago, it wasn't really built for HD graphics, but in today's time, it essentially is. Hi. Hey, I've kind of having problems in the video. If you don't, if you be an avatar, that's fine. I can't get my camera working today for whatever reason.
Oh no, I can turn off the webcam.
Sure. I just can't use it quite today.
Yeah, sure. No, I understand. Don't worry.
Yeah, so I got through gaming news. We have two 40th anniversary editions coming up. One is Legend of Zelda. The other one is Castlevania at different times of the year. I mean, 1986. So I'm sure there are other games, franchises that started that. But those are the ones I'm going to work on reviewing next year. For better or for worse. But,
right.
And I was just responding to Chaos, how, yeah, I mean, the anniversary edition is the same game. The revision mod, not so much. But it started with Warren Spector, who also worked on Thief games. He also worked on the first System Shock. So the other ones weren't really by him, but he started this game system. And so in the first game, it's a prototype, but they make it complicated because they rather have augmentations that you find, and you learn skills which improve, but you also have your augmentation, your skills as separate ladders that you progress on, separate skill trees. So yeah, the system was, as I'll say, more complicated.
Yeah, I get that.
But I was showing part of the early gameplay of it, and just how it was. And you said you played Human Revolution as your first one?
Yes, I played Human Evolution as my first game for Deus Ex, but I played it on the PlayStation 3, and I bought this game when it was on a decent price in Austria, on a sale on Austria, right? But
Yeah.
But the problem was for my side is that the game was never did not have a English as its language. It did not have English at all, so I had to resort with what was available. It was French or douche, Italian, Spanish, and stuff like
right,
that.
Deutsch, yeah.
So I had to set it to French, and then I had to like look for the guidelines on how to for the speech and what the game was talking about, because on Human Revolution you had to apply like some sort of
a patch, yeah,
a negotiations or a psychological interrogation, stuff like that, to force the respective character that you are interrogating or that you are trying to make a
Right.
bad
The
person,
dialogue.
a bad person to surrender without doing something stupid.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the dialogue was much more simple on this one. I mean, the dialogue in the original was rather, how do I put it? If you say, like, if you tell someone something threatening, they will fight you. If you say something less threatening, maybe they won't. It's basically multiple choice, simple dialogue options. But this is here. The game starts in New York City. It
Hmm.
starts at the Statue of Liberty where terrorists are holding hostages. So it's the basic kind of introductory mission you got in Human Revolution. But this
Right.
is from the 2000. I think it's the first Unreal Engine that this game was made in.
Possible. I'm not really 100% sure myself, to be fair.
Yeah. But yeah, he hacked an ATM. Hacking is so simple. You just use like Icebreaker, or you can find again data cubes tell you passwords,
Hmm.
and some things are breakable. I actually want to see if he got the underwater secret. Maybe he didn't.
He probably did. He probably didn't. Well, until we won't know until we find out.
But no, this in this part where you go meet the contact, he gives you the key to get inside the statue without picking any locks. But again, that's the other thing this game did was that it rather had lockpicking, had computer hacking as separate skills. It also actually technically had three because you could disable electronic devices with what they call multi-tools.
Right.
And I don't know. I feel that Human Revolution was a good negotiation between what you got in the sequel and what we got in the original. Because Invisible War got worse because I'm going to stop sharing this one. Invisible War got worse because Invisible War had only augmentations that you find in various places. That's it. That's all you got.
Right.
Yep. Hi, Alex. So I don't know. I feel that even though it was streamlined, I was okay with the kind of progression system that Human Revolution had. It's basically XP for everything.
I'm not. I mean, I'm not complaining. I mean, the game was okay. It wasn't uh, something. It wasn't awesome that to the franchise of Deus Ex. But the problem was the problem is the skill of negotiations with the dialogues.
Right.
That was the main reason. Because if you don't know exactly uh what you're supposed to talk about and how do you supposed to get the right information or to tell the bad guy that you are doing something stupid and you're going to regret it for the rest of your life and it's not worth the damn uh it's I don't know because it's not like a click and point adventure like how it was with
Right.
the dialogues on Green Fandango or Secret Monkey Island.
Right. The dialogue in Human Revolution does a point score system. So if you score enough points by your dialogue choices, you get a certain outcome.
You get a
With the
certain outcome.
augmentation, it gives you indicators that okay, maybe you're more likely going to get by persuading or pushing for a result, you're more likely to get a success in your dialogue. Not a guarantee though. I mean, I have used the uh go ahead.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's not, and it's more than that. There's also like, there's a door or a computer that you need to hack, but you don't know the code or what's the password for for the respective computer on to get in.
Yeah.
How exactly will you find the right answer of that? Because it's strictly almost impossible, by my personal opinion. And the bit because when I played this game for the first time, I did not know what was the password or how or the right code for the respective door, right?
Right.
So I went through the guidelines, or more likely, I just accessed the internet browser, and I asked to help me to find all the codes and passwords for the computers. And of course, uh, The another downside is that I have to look for the exact respective map, respective office where I am, and find the right code or password.
Yeah. I
Which
mean, there's
is
one little trick though. The first password you ever enter in a Deus Ex game is 0451.
040451.
It's a reference to Fahrenheit 451, the novel by Ray Bradbury. But that's what Warren Spector did in both System Shock and Deus Ex. So that's one little trick that they have in these games is a little Easter egg for the games.
Yeah. Didn't see that one. I'll be honest, I didn't see that one.
Yeah. So this is just the PlayStation version of Deus Ex. The first one they did a PS2 version in 2002. Now obviously it's unlike the original PC version. It's widescreen and the lighting is a bit weird. What kind of novels are that? For me, I guess most of what I read is fantasy, Alex. But I do consider Dune by Frank Herbert to be sci-fi.
To be fair, it depends mostly on what computer you're using and what is your graphics card that can handle it. But I'm pretty
Oh
sure,
yeah.
like nowadays, mostly like anything is possible.
Oh yeah. This game wasn't originally made in HD, so that's why they made the revision mod for the game, because this by default it's not even, it's like 480p. So with the mod you can get it up to like 4K graphics with the revision
Right.
mod. But before that you just have to let your computer upscale it for full screen, and the detail gets a bit sparse, if you will.
Right.
I mean, it's blocky, obviously, because this is still the same game with the year 2000 graphics, but it's from 25 years ago. But it's all right. Deus Ex: Invisible War.
Never played that one.
It's a disappointing sequel. There's no experience point system in it. Literally none. You just find augments and upgrades, and that's it. And the augments are found in various places. It's a sequel to the first game, versus Human Revolution being a prequel, but it disappointed PC gamers at the time by a lot. Actually, Talent for War, Seven Sons, Hidden Empire, and Partnership, The Ship You Sang, Anne McCaffrey. I thought Anne McCaffrey was, she sci-fi. Yeah, it's post-apocalyptic sci-fi with Anne McCaffrey and Pern. But no, I'll get here, and we're gonna take a look at the graphics of this thing and see exactly how bad it got with Invisible War. I mean, it's disappointing. I just want to show exactly how disappointing this is. Wait a minute. I mean, the intro is probably the best part of it until you realize what it means, what the whole plot means. That NVIDIA sure shows how old it is.
Could have been worse.
It could have been. I mean, this game was made for both Xbox and PC at the time. Came out around 2003. So starts in Chicago. This is perhaps the biggest event that happens in the whole game. I read some of the Pern books about the Dragon Riders. Yeah, right. If some guy by himself could destroy all that, and that's to me, it feels like jumping the gun. They did the most intense scene of the game in that one cutscene. Pretty much. That was the most intense scene of the game, all in that first part. Now let's see what. Um, could it be a lot of people aren't reading as many books today? I'm not sure, Alex. I'm not sure why. I mean, Ursula K. Le Guin was a while ago. Ursi and Anne McCaffrey was some time ago too. It's just, yeah. Getting back to this game, it's. I mean, there's a big explosion, and most of the game is just trying to be stealth action like Human Revolution is for the most part. Hi, Seabash. How are you doing? Did you have a nice vacation, or are you just taking a little break from it? I'm going to go back to that trip. So we're talking about Deus Ex, the game series, but just taking a look at the kind of graphics this thing had a while ago. Ah, great. Yeah. So unlike say Human Revolution or Mankind Divided, you don't have a set character really. Adam Jensen has a set look, but in the previous two Deus Ex games, you could be custom appearance, as you can see with this one. And to be fair, Alex, a lot of those Pokemon and Zoids, I mean, I feel Pokemon's a role playing game. Technically, you I feel it's more than a lot of games that they call RPGs. Because I mean, action RPG is a term where you how do I put it? You do more action than you do choices in a dynamic world. I mean, I feel a dynamic world is the biggest attribute of a role playing game, where the world is changing based on events from you and from others. So yeah, um, 2004, the graphics are, it's blocky, and the original one was too. It's just that in this game, it's a little less, mechanical looking for the people. But Alex, I thought, and I've been thinking about, could I do a later one? I mean, they are interesting. I saw people playing Wolf Among Us for a little bit. Um, it looked kind of interesting. You have the dialogue, you have dialogue choices, and that affects how characters might view you or respond to you. I'm just saying, to me, and I'll have a later episode defining what role playing games are, is that you have a dynamic, changing world. Yeah, Dispatch was from a number of people who worked on previous Telltale games. Unfortunately, Telltale Games made some bad choices, and they had to make a new studio for that. So, unfortunately for the people who like Dispatch, you might have to wait some time for them to make any kind of sequel for that. Detroit Become Human, I have not played yet. But going back to how I see role-playing games, I'd be talking about Baldur's Gate or Fallout. In those games, you have a dynamic, changing world where the world and its status depends on actions of you and the other characters in the game. Yeah. I mean, there's some improvement from the previous Deus Ex with the way they do shadow casting in this game from your flashlight. But I'm going to get to the one we're more familiar with Human Revolution. But this was the sequel that disappointed a lot of people when it came out. So I'm going to go to Human Revolution for a little one there. So I've heard the director's cut, honestly, because the director's cut for Human Revolution. All right, let me skip this. Let me skip to this one. Here. Stop sharing for a minute and I'll get here. All right, now I'll share here. Hang on. So this is the opening. You've done a brief little tutorial, and this is when Adam Jensen's becoming augmented because he got pretty much almost killed. Well, Equilibrium with starring Christian Bale has an optimistic ending, but there's a whole bunch of death and carnage leading up to that ending. So Equilibrium. The Matrix, not really. The Matrix doesn't really have an end. That's what Village Roadshow and Warner Brothers are choosing to do with it, and Resurrections. Yeah, they had an interesting plot to them. Um, Pretty dark too. But this was essentially the kind of soft reboot prequel where they decided to go with, let's do this and let's make something that gets in between what the first game did and what the second game did, and gave us back the experience point system so that you could essentially have something that would be a little streamlined and a little user friendly. I feel it's not too streamlined compared to a lot of other reboots or game sequels. But it's a pretty good opening credit sequence, and they actually did an interesting promotion for this game as if it was an actual TV commercial. It was pretty interesting. Yeah, a so-called benevolent dictatorship, Alex. And to be honest, Demolition Man played a lot of comedy with that, and I was fine with it. Like Phoenix said, I should be allowed to be an asshole. Yeah. So I'm going to skip ahead to the actual playing the game. I like the cutscenes, but let's get started with it. So this is computer hacking right here. You have to hack individual nodes. There's a % chance you'll fail each node, but if you aren't fast enough, you get kicked out of the system. This is getting into someone's apartment for a mission or side quest. But this is, this is how the first opening mission starts. Okay, Steam, I get it. You want me to buy more of your games. Chill out.
Doesn't it always do that?
Well, I buy on Steam, so Steam wants me to get more. That's how it works. That's how the algorithm works, anyways.
Yeah, that's how it works, unfortunately.
I am going to get Mankind Divided. Yeah, a lot of people would have supported Ray. So this is the first mission. You didn't miss much, Ultrafin. First mission of the game where you have the factory have with the hostages in it.
Okay.
It's just showing a little demonstration of how this gameplay works. We've played it, thankfully, to the end. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Sorry, That was my mom.
Okay, that's fine. Oh yes, Adam Jensen, or it's spelled with Jensen with an E, was a cop. According to his backstory of this, he was at the Detroit Police Department as a SWAT team member. He didn't shoot somebody, a potential terrorist, but his partner did, so he got kicked off the force.
Ouch.
This is the tranquilizer darts. But as you can see, the player is just taking a good look to make sure that, okay, who's there before, so I don't get spotted when I go down there. Perfect shot. So the score in this game, which I found interesting, is that Ultrafin, is that this game scores you more if you do a non-lethal.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the earlier one was just objectives when they actually the first Deus Ex. That's it. You could do whatever you wanted. The only concerns in the first one were if you had enough ammo to do whatever it is you were doing. Let's see if this guy figures out the overhead sneak in route. I think he did. Rooftop entry. Come on, you find that secret on the roof, didn't you? Didn't you, Shrenko? Did you find it? I think he did. I don't know. I think Alex Murphy at RoboCop is still pretty strong. He's just not that fast in terms of walking speed. But his accuracy is ridiculous considering he fired a 9mm handgun through a man's rifle scope into his eye. That kind of accuracy. As RoboCop, of course, not as Alex Murphy. Thought I was going to grab a beer. But I do like in this game how they work on really making the newspapers have enough detail as if it was a newspaper. I mean, I can't blame them for the original game with how primitive it was in 2000, where 2D or 3D, not 2D, was relatively new.
Right.
going to try and skip ahead to the first dialogue. Because you and I were talking about the dialogue, and I think it'd be cool if our audience got to see how that works with Ezekiel.
Yeah, that would. That is, if we can find it.
It's not too far away. Hang on. Here it is. Got it. There it is. Oh, yeah. So Adam Jensen as a cop was before he got cyberized. He got cyberized because a group of terrorists attacked the factory that he was working in when he got a security guard job after he got removed from the Detroit Police Department. So I hope that answers it. Oh. Oh. You failed to stop the gas container? Come on. It's easy hacking.
Is it? Because apparently some people can't seem to find it.
All right, I'll show it because you have to get in through the roof of that room. You get into the roof of that room, then you hit the console to stop the bomb. So this is where you go into that room, and you have to get up on top using the vents. Then you drop into the room from the ceiling. You can. Oh, he didn't have double takedown yet, does he? So I'll pause it, and we'll see exactly how you save the hostages from the gas. This is the gas thing. So yeah. Oh. You do clearance first when hacking. Come on. Well, I would give the person credit for if he played as a novice. Is if I recorded, I wouldn't be doing it as a novice. But yeah, that's more or less it. So I'll stop for now, but I'm stopping it for now. But I just need to finish it up. We're getting close to the end. Hey.
Yep.
So I have not played this yet. I got it on my wish list to play later. But I just want to take a look at the gameplay for this. The trailer and all that jazz. This is a trailer. Let's see what the trailer is. Hang on. All right, here we go. Oops, what did I do here? There it is. See you later, Alex. All right, that's it. So that was the trailer. I'll play it. I'll play it eventually. So I'll play it later. It's on my wish list on Steam.
For now.
For now. Oh, but it will. I guess it won't. I guess you're right. It won't be on my wish list when I actually get it.
Well, no.
Last little bit here, we have the revision mod, so you can compare the two. Mod lets you turn enhanced graphics on or off, so you can see like J.C. Denton better, more detailed, or less. And it gives you new maps, so it's worth playing even if someone has or has not played the first Deus Ex. For just how they changed it and said, "Hey, let's make a better version of this game," and it looks better than, say, the anniversary edition they re-released this year. But that's about it. So coming up later, next year is the year in review. You're welcome to come, even if you haven't been here that many episodes so far. Just going over everything that's been reviewed. And starting next year is the movie Escape from New York.
Nope, never heard of that one.
It's one of the early movies with Kurt Russell in it. You know, back when he was just a lot younger.
Yeah, okay, now I know who you're referring to, but no, I still had the opportunity to watch it.
Yeah, it's. I guess I keep forgetting. No, in North America right now, it's free to watch on Amazon, but it depends on the region. To be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. But otherwise, it's Escape from New York is a movie which inspired a lot of other post-apocalyptic films and even video games, including the Deus Ex series. You have Snake Plissken, and he's played by Kurt Russell, and he's going on an espionage mission to save the President of the United States, who got taken hostage in New York, which they turned New York City into one big prison encampment, if you will. That bad. But it was back when John Carpenter was better at directing and writing stories. That's all I'm going to say.
Right.
So, meantime, thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you again next week, same time, same channel, to review the year 2025. So, here we go.